This is not a joke. How did you feel when you saw that?
Well, my first reaction was obviously not a great one. Basically, the words of obviously, I was disappointed. I was thinking, well, what am I going to do with this? It obviously wasn't the tattoo what I'd first set out for.
Well, you could have another child and call it Gary.
There is that, yes. Unless it's a girl, then...
If it's a girl, you'd have to call it Gary too.
Yeah.
Point is, you must have been furious, correct?
Yes, I was, yes.
There's also a lot of pain, and there are certain things that are a joke.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Christian. I've just remembered Gary. And I had Gary in my court before. And on that occasion, I gave the person who was suing him aggravated damages, which I very, very rarely do. Because what happened was a young man was a victim of one of his pranks, which he thought was hilarious. And I thought it was so unhilarious that I ended up giving the applicant more money than he'd come to my court to claim for. That's not funny.
No.
Do you think that's funny?
Yeah.
I have a statement, you know, from your mum, Alison. When my son returned from holiday, I was horrified to see that tattoo. I asked him what he had done, and he told me it wasn't his fault. It was a prank by his, inverted commas, friend Gary. Christian was so upset by this, it's not a joke. It's gone too far. My son has this on his body forever, so I don't think it's funny at all. I gave birth to my son with perfect skin. It's been ruined by this horrible tattoo. Never a more perfect comment from a mum, in my view. Absolutely right. What did you do? Did you tell the tattoo artist to change it to your name?
I just wrote it down and I said he wants that now.
Do you really think that that was a reasonable thing to do?
Now it's obviously a bit more serious, but I mean, like, at the time, I thought he was going to look at the tattoo before it got the carbon copy, which I've got loads of tattoos, and every time I've looked at my tattoos before, they've got...
But he was drunk, and you were in care of him, correct?
Yeah, yes.
Why, when he hadn't checked, didn't you go, whoa, 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 stop, it's gone too far?
I just thought, I've got this far now, I may as well just let him finish it.
As I understand it, you've got a little mini counterclaim, correct?
I paid for it. I paid €40 for it.
Just sort of waiting for a second. Would you like me to consider that as part of your counterclaim?
It's worth a go, yeah.
No! However, what you do say, that Christian is mildly responsible because he went and got a tattoo drunk, and what's more, he did not check whether or not it was the correct design. So he is contributarily negligent here, correct?
Correct.
You might be right about that. And that may have an effect on the damage. Christian, what are you claiming for?
Just got me evidence here from me tattooist.
You do, and I'd like to see it and explain to you why it's a problem. You went to a tattoo artist.
Yes, she actually did. I've got a tattoo on my arm, and she'd actually done that.
Now, what she's ostensibly said, it's going to take 2 full days of sittings or more for there to be a complete correction where you can get the tattoo you want. This is sort of Judge Rinder meets tattoo fixers, correct?
Correct.
And it's going to cost £1,050, is that right?
So I'm told from the tattoo artist.
I trust this tattoo artist. Here's your problem. There are 2 things. The first one is, I can't give you a new tattoo. That's what you're claiming for. What the law does is it puts you in a position that you would have been in but for his negligence or something wicked he did to you.
Yep.
In other words, I can only give you the cost of repairing the problem, removing it. I looked in your evidence pack this morning and you hadn't got any information from a laser removal specialist, correct?
That's correct.
So I went and did that on your behalf. Michelle, can you go and get the statement if possible? It's in my chambers. Thank you. Whilst that's being brought in, what would you say, Christian, is your responsibility here? Thank you very much. You were drunk, 1, impaired certainly, and you didn't check it. Even though he's a moron, what level is your responsibility, percentage-wise?
5%.
5?
Yeah.
Well, let's have a think about that. Whilst I'm doing that, you need to hear this. I asked my clerk to go and get a quote. It says as follows. He wouldn't get this done for under £1,000. This is the removal. The tattoo itself is not very symmetrical, and the artist has pushed the ink in very deeply, as there looks to be a slight bleed of ink around the outline. I hope this helps. Now, in other words, The good news as far as your claim is concerned, all right, is that the cost of removing the tattoo is roughly similar to the cost of getting the tattoo you want.
Yeah.
Understood?
Yeah.
Now, Gary, that's his claim. You've a counter-claim for €40. Forget about it.
OK.
Is there any part of you that feels a little bit responsible?
I'm going to have to, yeah. Yeah.
Would you like to apologise?
Not really.
If you enjoyed that video, then I strongly suggest clicking here for more highlights. For those of you who haven't subscribed yet, and why not, so that you never miss out, subscribe. Clicking down there, that's an order.